We're glad to be here. This is awesome. Y'all starting this. I think this is the first year y'all may have started this. So this is great. This is Dakota Stewart right here, sophomore for us. And Eli Till on my other side right here is also a sophomore. Very excited to have both of these two for several years to come. So, right now we've got two seniors rolling up and working out with us every day. And the majority of our team is sophomores, freshmen. I think I've got 5 or 6 juniors. But, we kind of call ourselves right now the Dirty 30 because that's the group that's been showing up every day, give or take. It's been really tough in this pandemic going on, just trying to get kind of consistency and some stability. But the more we go, it just seems like these guys are just kind of buying in and doing what we ask them to do. And so your numbers are not jumping down, they're kind of staying the same. And that's kind of what you want. Obviously, we want more kids to come out, and hopefully, as the season gets going, we'll be able to get more out. But the ones we got right now, couldn't ask for a better group. They're working hard, great attitude, and we're going to rely heavily on both of these guys on both sides of the football this year. So,
questions, guys?
Yeah, touching on that, you talked about when you took over about implementing stability. Mm-hmm. Are there specific things that you've done to kind of do that with these players? Well,
just me telling, I remember the first day we walked in there, because it's kind of been a revolving doors for these guys. This is the one thing that these guys have done is they've been there, and they've seen coaches come and go. And, when I was at Aberville, I was happy there. I loved it there. But seeing these kids having to go through this, me being from Douglas, having kids there, having a wife there, I got tired of seeing that, honestly. So I just wanted these guys to kind of, it needed to be fair for them. So, and just told them the first day I was there, I'm not going nowhere. As long as they'll keep me there, I don't plan on leaving there. I'm going to be there. My youngest son hadn't even started school yet, and my oldest one's going into 5th grade. And so I want those kids, my kids, to see how these kids do it. And they've done it right. They've been there every day, and they've worked hard. And it's just been a consistent, everyday grind. It's funny, when I walked in there's kind of some trophies sitting over in the corner of our equipment room, just collecting dust. And so my first thing was trying to say, whatever tradition we have, we need to kind of let these kids see there is some, but it's way back when. So we kind of built a trophy case for them, put it in the weight room. And my goal is for these guys before they graduate to have something that they can put in there for themselves. And so, like I said, they're doing everything we're asking them to do, and we're excited, very excited about it.
Coach, you said you had only 2 seniors.
Yes, sir.
The young football team. How many guys have you got working out you plan to have on the team this fall?
So, right now, like you said, 2 seniors, which when I took the job, they told me our senior class was going to be low. They told me our sophomore class was high numbers, which it is. Our freshman class, there's 7 to 8 of those kids, but every one of them will contribute this year. That's just kind of where we're at. So, like I said, from 26 to 32, 33 on a good day. This week, we asked the 7th and 8th graders to come up with us to work because their numbers, I think they're over 30-something just for the 7th and 8th graders. And our 8th grade class is really big. And so we brought them in with us this week to practice with us. And so our numbers went from around 30 to now it looks like we almost got 60 kids out there. It makes me feel better. It makes us feel, and I'm thinking it's helping these guys out too because I know at times they feel like, hey, we're the only ones in the school that is going through all of this. Well, when you see the junior high kids with you, it jumps your numbers up. And I think it just makes us feel more united as a group. And they've done a great job of helping these 8th graders along, these 7th graders along. And, just kind of showing them it's the way it's going to be from here until they graduate. So our numbers that way, if you look at the whole program, our numbers are jumping up. And I know when school starts back, we'll be able to pull some other guys back. That's a good thing, but also they don't get to go through the weight program and they don't get to go through the condition that the guys that are waking up every day and coming and showing up and doing. So that's, that's the downside of it. But
this is for the players, guys. As Coach Lyles talks this morning, it sounds like he's enthusiastic. He wants to be at Douglas. This is a destination for him. He's not going anywhere. Do y'all feed off that excitement?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this season. It's going to be a real good one. Yes, sir. It really makes me excited that he wants to be here.
and we have a coach that'll be here.
Coach, would you talk about, you may be bringing a different system offensively and defensively. How many experienced players and maybe in different positions you have coming back on the football team that's actually played?
I think, and I've watched some film, I think most, and these guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think most of the sophomores played at some point in time last year as freshmen. I think several of them probably started. So, they got that experience. It's not ideal to be thrown in as a ninth grader. I understand that, but them getting that experience is only going to make them better by the time they definitely get seniors. They've seen, what they've got to work on. They definitely got to get stronger in the weight room, and they're buying into that. I think I asked them in July, had you had a July summer program? And none of them could raise their hand because they really haven't went through that part of installing offense, defense, working out in June and July. And so just them being able to do that will help them. But I think the experience they gain as freshmen will definitely help them. And then our sophomores that are juniors now, same deal.
As far as an offensive philosophy goes, I know you're kind of at the mercy of what you got, but is there a offensive philosophy that you like to?
Well, right now we want to be multiple, eventually be multiple. Right now we've put in some wing tee stuff, some double slot stuff, because we have several running backs that I feel good about. Now they're sophomores, but I feel like they're picking the offense up very well. As we get going, we eventually want to jump into some two-back shotgun type stuff. But we've got to get this down first before we jump around because I don't want it to overwhelm those kids at all. But they've picked it up really well.
Coach, I wanted to piggyback off Jeff's question for the players earlier. These guys have seen some serious turnover from a coaching standpoint.
Yes, sir.
Just over the last 3 years in general. With you being one of their own, with you being a former Douglas football player, do you think that helps these guys buy in and helps change the culture a little bit going forward?
I hope so. It's very tough when you just get somebody from out of a place like Douglas. There's just been such a turnover. And so when you get somebody that's kind of been around there, seen it, because before I left Amarillo, I was at Douglas. So I've kind of seen the highs and lows, the roller coaster of being there. So when you get somebody that's been there and done that and has been around and understands the culture up there, I would hope that it would help. And like I said, they've bought in. There hasn't been, I can look at anybody on that team and I don't have a bad attitude. I don't have anybody on that team that's got a bad attitude that I've seen yet. And that's awesome. And that's, you always seem like you got those guys you got to push a little harder. Right now, I feel like they're kind of all pushing themselves. And we don't have a lot of seniors. We really don't have a lot of juniors. But I feel like these sophomores, these freshmen are even buying into that leadership role as well. And so, that's good to see for sure.
For the players, I know you guys haven't had a whole bunch of time considering the pandemic, new staff and everything, to really get integrated into the system as what you were just talking about. But what are some of the changes that you've already started to notice that you really like, that you're buying into with the new coach and new staff? What are some of those changes, if any, that you've seen?
Everyone's just been pushing themselves real hard to just gotta try to win these games. And everyone's been pushing, trying their best and everything.
Yeah, everybody in the weight room has been pushing each other harder than last year. It's a lot better.
Coach, am I correct that the last Douglas Eagle team that went to the playoffs you were on?
It was my sophomore year, yes, sir.
Sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is a question probably, looking to the future. What's it going to take to get Douglas back to a playoff team?
Well, my goal going this year is trying to be competitive. I think at times last year, just kind of looking at their season, there was games where they wasn't competitive into the second half of the game. So that needs to be your number one goal, is try to have stability, then be competitive in every game you play, and make opponents have to prepare for you. Not just, hey, here we go, we're going to play. They need to prepare for us. And so I feel like closing the gap this year for sure, but you have to, we have to get into that fourth spot. That's our goal this year. And so we definitely need to win our non-region games, but our goal is to definitely try to get in that fourth spot to be in the playoffs. And it starts this year. And that's, I don't care. I'm not using us being young as an excuse, because I see talent on this team that, if they'll do everything and they buy into it, we'll have an opportunity. And that's, that's kind of my goal for this year.
I have a question for the two guys. Obviously, Coach has talked about you guys being leaders. What does it mean for Coach to choose you two out of some of the others to come today to Media Day to speak before the media about the Douglas Eagles?
I feel pretty honored to represent us.
I feel good that he chose us and like he trusts us to lead the team.
Coach, one thing I want to add is, I know, behind the 8 ball, starting out the new year. When you get out there on the field, I know you saw this probably on film, when things kind of go bad, kids' heads go down.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess your biggest challenge is to keep those heads up, because if they keep those heads up, things will get better.
That's right. Well, that's one thing, we've been preaching the entire time is, yes, we want to get physically stronger, but our mental side of things have got to get a lot better. And so even our workout stuff, we break it down into 4 quarters. So, by the 4th quarter, it's something that's kind of taxing on their body mentally. And can you handle it? Can you finish every single day that we do it? It's not just when we start, in week 0 for us. It's every day in the weight room. Can you finish that 4th quarter? And like I said, these kids have done that. It's not, sometimes they feel sorry for themselves, and when they feel sorry for themselves, I'm there to pick them up, encourage them or push them, whatever it takes. But that's, every day we're preaching the mental side of it, whether we're running our sprints, our 110s, whatever it may be, you got to finish mentally. And you start feeling sorry for yourself, that's when things go wrong. So in a season, there's going to be bad times. Any time you play a game, there's going to be a bad side of it. But it's how you respond to it. And I hope that these guys have worked and pushed themselves throughout the whole summer, that when fall rolls around, it'll just, hey, this thing bad happened, let's flush it and let's move on.
Coach, I had to play the hypothetical game, but your first 2 opponents, they didn't win a single game just a season ago. And they're very winnable games right off the bat. If you guys can string together 2 wins, first 2 weeks, how big of a confidence booster is that going forward, not only for you as a first-year head coach, but for these kids as well?
Well, it'll be awesome. We're still trying to get stuff on Weaver. I know their schedule was tough for them last year. So, it's a little misleading with those guys, but at the same time, you definitely want to start out 1-0. That's my goal no matter what. We definitely want to start out 1-0. And so my thing is right now pushing these kids in the weight room, making sure we're in the best shape of our life. So when the 4th quarter rolls around against Weaver, that, we're going to be in the best shape of our life and we'll have a chance to win. Hopefully that's a goal. But yes, obviously anybody wants to start out 2-0. That'd be awesome. But we're working our best to try to get that first game.
Touch on the your staff, coaching staff, because I know coming in, new coach, the staff around you is always important. So you just want to touch a little bit on this.
Yeah, I was able to get, there's 3 or 4 that have coached at Douglas in the past that, 2 of them have kind of taken a step back for whatever reason. So I was able to get those guys back on board with me. And then I was able to bring in a former player from Douglas that was at Lynette last couple of years. So, he's got experience there, won a state championship. I was able to get him back, Mark Miller. So that was big. And then we was able to pull another guy from Albertville with me, Josh Smith, to be able to do inside linebackers. So the ones that have been there have been great. And I know it gets tough because I've been there before, but they've been showing nothing but positive attitude and been there every day and done what we've, asked them to do. So we're excited. Everybody's excited over there. And that's all you want is try to bring excitement into the program. We're all running around like chickens with our head cut off right now trying to get this thing rolling, but.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Hope the Douglas Eagles have a great season 2020. Appreciate you being part of the media day today.